Today is the second Sunday of Easter. And the second Sunday of Easter is designated as the Divine Mercy Sunday. There's so much to tell us about God's mercy, especially in the commissioning of the disciples to become ministers of God's forgiveness, bringing God's forgiveness to people, expressing that, being the instruments through which God shows this special mercy, forgiveness of sins to his children. The appearances of Jesus have a way of representing and giving proof to the story of the resurrection. The disciples did not believe him. They did not understand what rising from the dead meant. Yet, out of fear for the people that crucified Jesus, they locked themselves. But Jesus had a way of penetrating the locks, coming into their presence, giving them peace, dispelling the fears, dispelling whatever it is that held them bound from going out to make the message known. And today he commissions them, and commissions them to become ministers of forgiveness. Whatever sins you forgive, they are forgiven, and whatever sins you hold on to, they are held on to. They are not forgiven. Let us remember that during the crucifixion, Jesus had already forgiven those who crucified him. Forgive them, Lord, for they do not know what they are doing. Humanly speaking, when people have tormented you, when people have persecuted you, and you now have an exalted position, we normally want to use that position to maltreat them, to show off. You thought you would keep me bound. You thought you would destroy me. But now I have come to life. I have come back. And then we use that to torment them. But not for Jesus. He had already shown them. And remember, during the Last Supper, he has taught them to love as he himself loved them. Love as I have loved you. A greater love has no one than to lay down his life for his friends. Those who persecute you, those who hurt you, those who harm you, and then you go about forgiving them. Inasmuch as we talk about the sacramental forgiveness that is given to the priests to forgive sins, we're also talking about reconciliation, interpersonal reconciliation, forgiving those who have hurt us. We are all instruments, agents of God's forgiveness, bringing that love in our relationship with others. And of course, humanly speaking, we keep hurting others. But after that, what happens? How do we go about mending broken relationships? How do we go about reconciling with those who have hurt us? How do we go about showing mercy? The forgiveness of sins is one of the most practical ways of showing compassion, of being merciful. And that is what Jesus did. That is what Jesus commands his disciples to do. That is what we are commissioned to do. It is part and parcel of our job description as Christians to let go of hurts done to us, to forgive others. And when we do, we are the first beneficiaries of any act of forgiveness. And lack of forgiveness is like taking poison and wishing that poison to destroy or to kill or to harm the person that has actually hurt us. It doesn't work that way. We are the first that will be destroyed by the poison that we have taken. So forgiveness frees. Forgiveness is an expression of love. It is a decision. It is not easy. We may not forget the hurt done to us. But then, when we see the person that has hurt us and the person we have forgiven, it doesn't harm us. It doesn't hurt us. We don't feel bad. We are free to associate with the person. We are free to relate with the person. This mercy of God that is being preached today is also shown not just in the forgiveness of sin, but in the mercy shown to this disciple that was not there the first time that Jesus showed himself to the disciples after rising from the dead. Thomas. Whenever the name Thomas is mentioned, we all talk about his incredulity. Unless I see him, unless I touch the wounds of the nails on his body, unless I touch the mark of the persecution, of the suffering, I refuse to believe. Thomas has become something that we use, anyone that doubts, doubting Thomas. But the doubt of Thomas led him to faith. The faith that led him to make that pronouncement, my Lord and my God, being the first to recognize Jesus as Lord after rising from the dead. It is a profound profession of faith. My Lord and my God. He saw, he believed, he acknowledged, and he proclaimed him. Sometimes we doubt God. Is God still there? If God is there, why is this happening to me? But in doubting, let us also be open, dispose ourselves, be docile to being surprised by the truth that God reveals to us, by the truth of his revelation. And that revelation of God leads to faith, the response of faith. Faith becomes the response that is needed, is demanded, is expected of us when God reveals himself to us. He still goes about making himself known, showing himself to his disciples, revealing himself in the society, revealing himself in the act of mercy, revealing himself in the experiences we encounter. And even when those experiences make us to doubt his presence, let us be open to that revelation that we get from that experience. Let us acknowledge him. Theology has been described as faith-seeking understanding. And I can assure you that most of the profound doctrines of the church came actually during the times of doubt. When people dissented, what was taught by Jesus Christ or what is being taught by the church, then the church encapsulates that in a doctrine, making it known, giving us the creedal formula to express that faith that God has revealed. And today Jesus teaches us that blessed are those who have not seen and yet believe. What about you? Have you accepted the faith, the revelation, the story of the resurrection? Have you expressed that in a statement that reminds you of Jesus's love for you, of his act of forgiveness? Do you make him known to others? Do you accept him? Do you acknowledge him? Do you reveal him to others? These are questions that we need to ask ourselves today. My Lord and my God. Jesus shows us his mercy. We are called to go and become agents of God's mercy in the world. Where mercy is shown, where love exists, then people live in unity. That peace, that unity is what we are called to live, or how we are called to live. And I pray that the grace of God may be with us, that we may continue to reveal Him in our world today.